Welcome and good evening to Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms. This is Raph streaming to you live high above the keep in the hot air balloon. Tonight, as always, I have Neindorf with me. Neindorf, how you doing?
Doing very well. Kind of coming off a couple long in real life work weeks, and I'm kind of excited to be back at a more normal schedule.
Yeah, I've been battling a bit of a head cold, and I would say like a nonstop tea has been helping me stay going and continue to go. So, all right.
Very
Well, I'm,
nice.
I'm really excited to jump back into the podcast with you. Why don't you kick us off with question of the day?
Yeah, so my question of the day is which path do you follow? Honor, valor, or iron?
Ooh.
Uh,
Um, whichever one was HP.
uh, Probably honor. That's defense and protecting allies, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, I
All
like that.
right.
I really like we'll get to this a little bit later with the game hype and bring some of that up. Probably not going to dive into this as with as much detail as, Wowie or some of the guys from Bogside or the Mythic Chat guys or the Mythic Squad guys. I know they're going on after us. Um, so we'll let you guys cover the, moves and all the abilities in great detail, but still really exciting.
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely. There's so much detail in these releases that it's uh, it's fun that they release them one at a time so you can really stew on them. But I think the next level content's going to be when you roll them all together and try to build a squad. So this is truly good content.
I hear you. All right, so let's go to Dev Dive. We were on the phone with video chat with Mr. Zipper and Sunbear today, talking about some of the developments that we've been working on. Why don't you catch our listeners up to speed with what we have going?
Yeah. First thing and foremost, I was hoping to have it released here for the stream. Had some database deployment issues, but basically it's done. It's going to be for our paid subscribers. You're going to have the ability to do a multi-wallet support. So you'll be able to go into that account, register as many wallets as you have, and then that way when you're searching heroes or like if you want to do hero matching on my wallet, it basically ripples through all our apps and it lets you um, utilize those multiple wallets without doing multi-searching. So that's a huge one. Honestly, I never thought I would really need multiple wallets, but that whole 18 gold miners at a time can really be limiting.
Yeah, I didn't ever think that I would come to this point either. You know, back if we looked at ourselves when heroes were, I don't know what, like $150 a hero or $200 a hero.
Oh yeah.
um or when you're summoning, it sometimes costs like $500 back when fuel
Yeah,
was like $20. So yeah, way more than that. So yeah, never thought I'd be here, but much appreciated for the development work there. Thank you very much.
absolutely.
All right, so I guess first off, let's kind of lay we'll talk about maybe the landscape of how the conversation went, and then we'll dive into what we're actually working on developing. So, from the conversation side of things, I continue to be excited about how they want to interface with other builders and how they are operating as a team. So it's clear that Mr. Zipper is starting, or Dr. Zipper is now taking the helm when it comes to working with the integration side of third party developers that are in the community base. And Sunbear is starting to switch to, it seems like, more like the potential third party developers that would be outside of the community. And I don't know, probably spoiling something, but probably, oh well. He's looking at chat apps right now, and so that's been his job duties to go chase those down to find in-game chat apps. And that's actually something that kind of ties in loosely to what we were thinking about. Would our alert systems ever be able to integrate with the game and connect to a chat app like that? So I was just continue to be impressed by how many irons they have in the fire for how focused their team is still. So that was nice.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And you know that there's all these features that they're talking about that are on the roadmap. And I think a lot of them we fail to realize how much actual legwork goes into it behind the scenes in order to select, technology A over technology B. And they do definitely have the desire to do a lot of work on chain, and I mean, that's kind of their mantra. But I think it's also important to note that they've kind of also realized where the limitations of that fall. And I think a grand example of that is like, what Wisdom is building for them in this game that it's clear to us now that it's not a pure blockchain game. I think you're probably going to see something similar to that with their messaging application. It's just honestly some of the latencies and the overhead and to pay gas to send someone a message. We'll see where the team ends up, but I kind of think this is going to be another one of those probably more hybrid or maybe even more Web 2 sort of technologies they build into it.
And that's exactly what we're building with our tournament organizer. Thanks for the segue, Neindorf.
You bet.
And so, we had started looking at tournament organization when we were working with with Joseph from Fight Club and the Bogside guys, because organizing those tournaments was just a bear. And organizing tournaments for duels appears to be just as much of a bear wrestling challenge. And so we started working on developing a tournament organizer. Now, at the same time, in parallel, Joseph ended up coming up with his in-game tournament features for Fight Club, which are awesome. And we're kind of, staying out of that lane for the time being and starting to work on development for duels. And then hopefully our goal is that we want our tournament organizer to be something that can plug in on top of, whatever the PvP combat's going to be.
Yeah, that's right. And I think starting out with Fight Club gave us a reason to start implementing it. And then, we got a couple opportunities to test, the sign up phase. And so we kind of, fortunately or unfortunately, you guys got to be our guinea pigs a little bit, kind of help us work through the first few alpha phases. And we're going to keep working it. And you might see a larger Fight Club tournament in the future that we might host. It all kind of depends on where we want to go. But yeah, it's one of those things that we'll keep building out. A lot of the things about duels, it's a little bit easier in the sense that all the results are on the blockchain. So we can find them and apply them. And there's some nuances too. And so I really like what I think we can offer in terms of duels tournaments. I think the other thing that we've talked about would be really cool. When people play duels, the expectation is the winner gets tickets, right? And so that was another part of our conversation today with Zipper and Sunbear was, hey, we kind of similar to what Joseph does in Fight Club. We would like to be able to award players tickets for duels tournaments. However, if you're in the bottom set of the tournament, you're probably going to get little to nothing.
Yeah.
But if you come away the winner of this duels tournament, you might get a boatload of tickets. So that's the kind of thing that I think is really exciting about this.
Yeah, I absolutely looking forward to that feature. I think that'll be a lot of fun and really put some higher stakes there. So another feature that is one of my early in the crockpot machinations of what I hope that we could develop. And I need, the community's help to kind of flesh this one out a little bit. But we're imagining what if you could do duels in a Guild Wars format? Where where instead of signing up and then getting placed into a 64-person roster, 64-person bracket, you sign up 10 people on each side or 5 people on each side, each representing a specific guild. And then what you do is you face off across the person across from you. And so there's those 10 battles that go on. Whoever is the winner, they go on to the next round. And whoever's the loser, they get eliminated. And so it's kind of a last man standing kind of battle system. And so you keep playing rounds until there's, only a team with combatants left. And you could do that for raffle tickets as well. So I'm really excited about how can we start to incorporate and leverage some of these guild themes that, have been coming up over the last few weeks and months.
Yeah, I think that's great, and it's kind of one of those things. The team aspect of it, I think, is kind of huge. Right now, with duels and even Fight Club, it's kind of just me against the other player. Adding that next level of guild organization, I think, is something that we're going to keep seeing more of and hearing more of in this community and in this game. And it's just going to grow in importance. and honestly, it'll keep us here long term, as if we weren't already here long term.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of kind of being here long term, it's been, gosh, this is episode now, I think 72 that we've had.
Wow.
We've been going on well over a year now on the in the podcast world. So thank you to all of our listeners out there. Really enjoy you guys, and we're starting to make some more formal changes with our guild. Recently, we've announced. I would consider this to be more formal membership. Why don't you walk our listeners through that kind of evolution of the guild?
Yeah, absolutely. And we were trying to be not purely reactionary, but a little bit of it was we kind of can see what other guilds in the game are starting to do. And effectively, what we're all making the assumption is that in the future, running a guild is going to take funding in some source or another. Either it's going to be materials. Obviously, we're pretty certain it's going to take land, which I see on screen now. I love it. Looks great. Um, and our goal is really to start building up that war chest, that guild coffer. And so we, as kind of the high council of the ADFK, previously the more of the informal guild, we kind of decided that we wanted to actually get more formal members. And what our request was for being those members, basically, is hero donations and some jewel on top to help us get a base layer in which we can start earning as a guild. And in the meantime, when we don't necessarily have guild fees, we can use profits to do guild giveaways and whatnot. I do think that in the future, though, we're going to need income and going to have expenses as a guild.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of our way of kind of hedging that bet and saying, hey, who's really in? If you're really in, here's the hero donations and the jewel that you need to deposit in order to be an official, more formal member of the ADFK guild. So I think it's really cool, and I'm really appreciative to all of our members who've jumped out and supported us. We've had quite a good number so far in just a few short days.
Yeah, so go ahead and jump into Discord if you want to find out more details. Hit us up if you have any questions. I've been answering a lot of questions that are DMs. People just kind of wondering some more of what we're about, what we're hoping to achieve. Love answering that stuff. And, I also love having our guild community speak for us as well. So feel free to jump onto the ADFK Discord, ask some questions. And, we're going to be focused on it's community first, and then it's PvP, and then eventually how do we leverage our community that's building strong heroes for PvP and go attack PvE as well. So we're really excited about the combat aspects of the game. We have been since day one. That's what drew us in, and we feel that we're probably looking at, and this we have no information on. It's just reckless speculation. Well, let's see. So actually, yeah, let's talk reckless speculation here.
Love
I was
it.
gonna start to announce like when is the date, the release date of PvP, and something that I thought of is they released the Archer on, was it Christmas Day? No, they released the moves for they released the notes on the abilities on Christmas Day, right?
Yep, I believe that
And then I
that
believe it
sounds
was
right.
about a week later that they released information on the Archer.
Yep,
And then it
yep.
was about a week later when they released information for the Knight. And so it feels like we're on a bit of a cadence now. The Pavlov's conditioning has trained me to salivate every week now, and as I'm looking for new juicy nuggets for PvP. So I think if we count out the classes that we have available, like, do you think that they're going to launch PvP with advanced and elite classes, or do you think that that might be something that they hold back and say, all right, let's just do it for basic classes first. Let's get something out there.
It's tough. I mean, these are assets that we've all invested money and time into. I kind of feel like they have to get something out for all the existing classes, or they risk, some market dumping of some of the classes that aren't out there yet. That's just me guessing. They wouldn't have to do that. You're right. They could start with basics only. But then you're asking, well, what about Scholar and Legionnaire? They're relatively new. So personally, I would love to see all of it come out. but according to the timeline you just laid out, that's a lot of classes.
Is
That's
that
a lot of weeks.
am I counting up right? Are there 22 classes? There's 12,
Sounds right.
5, 17, 20, 21.
Yeah, it would be odd. That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that's a lot of classes, and I think that's a lot of months too. That's half a year,
Yep.
or almost half a year for those of you doing math at home. And so I think they're going to have to start releasing more content at an accelerated rate, because I think we're going to see some kind of PvP in the March timeframe, would be my guess. But that's, again, reckless speculation.
Yeah, I think that would be obviously we would love that for that soon. I think that's what we're all hoping for.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. I think they've done a really good job of tempering expectations by doing it one class per week. So I think, yeah, stay tuned. If we see an acceleration, I think maybe you might be
Then
onto something. We just got to keep track of it because otherwise they're doing a really good job of, you know, also not giving all their cards away.
Right. Right. Okay, so that kind of sums it up for us tonight. We're going to be doing summons night over on the ADFK Discord. Go jump in there. I also, in the show notes, I have a link to a Google Docs for summons night. If you jump over into that, you can see we have a few people signed up already. Um, and I will be spinning a wheel at the start of summons night. And if you are on the list, you get one entry to earn a regular size stone for summoning. So yeah, come join in and have fun with us. We're over in our general voice chat over there. We share our screen, do a summons, and we get a hype train going. So really excited about I'm going for another tranny try here. So we'll see if I can get it.
Very nice. Yeah, we look forward to seeing all you guys, and hopefully we get